Hey guys, it's Jeremy here at Metal Music Meltdown, back with another video. What do you have for today, guys, is my next installment of the top 5 albums of each year. I'm doing a series where I talk about my top 5 favorite albums from each year, starting in 1970, where metal all began, and working my way through to present day 2021. If you haven't seen the previous videos, definitely check those out down below. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see going forward the new episodes of this series, definitely hit that subscribe button down below, and please feel free to leave any comments about your top 5 albums of the year we're doing. And this year again, guys, is 1974, so let's jump right in. I found 1974 was a really good year for debuts. There's 4 of them in total of some really big bands that had albums this year, and 3 of them are in my top 5 at number 5, 4, and 3. So let's jump right in. At number 5, I had Kiss's debut albums, again self-titled. I'm not the biggest Kiss fan, but this is a good album from them. I'm a bigger fan of their earlier stuff, with songs like Strutter, Nothing to Lose, Cold Gin, and Deuce is a big one. This was a solid album. It's a fun album to listen to. It's rocking, and it's just a good album. It's solid. At number 4, I had Hometown Boys, fucking Toronto, Canada. Rush, one of my favorite hard rock kind of progressive bands, and with songs like Working Man on this album, their debut album, which again is self-titled. Working Man was their breakthrough album, I think, with more in Cleveland, or I think it was in Cleveland. They played it on a radio station. It kind of broke them through. But it's a solid band. Not my favorite album by them, but it's solid. They didn't quite. I think they gradually got better through the albums, but again, still a really solid debut from such a powerhouse trio. And the next one again is another debut, self-titled, from the supergroup from the England, Bad Company. Arguably one of my favorite hard rock debuts of all time. I love this record. The guitar work is amazing. So much talent in this band. The songs are memorable, very catchy. And with songs like Can't Get Enough, Rock Steady, the title track, Bad Company, Moving On. Just a really solid album, top to bottom. Not a very long album. I think it's only 37 minutes or something. But I listen to this all the time. I think it did go like 4 times platinum to date. It's a very well-selling record. And it's a great album. And if you're a fan of my channel and you know my taste in music at all, I think you'll be no surprise what my number 2 and 1 are. I was kind of torn between where to put 1 and where to put 2, and they're both Queen albums. And that's another thing, if you're new to the channel, we do have a designated Queen video every Friday called Friday Fridays. So if you love Queen as much as we do, also hit the subscribe button to check those out and check back in my previous videos. So again, between the 2 albums, I decided just to put Queen 2 at number 2, their second album. Both of these have great songs, but I just kind of had to put one somewhere. If I could make it a tie, I probably would. But with songs like Father to Son is really good. White Queen might be my favorite, or one of my favorite kind of softer songs from Queen, kind of ballady songs. Freddie Mercury's voice really shines, and it's just a beautiful song. Ogre Battle's one really heavy song. I love that song. I think the only single from this album was 7 Seas of Rye, which is good. And The March of the Black Queen is a really complex, layered song. It's got some heavy parts, some experimental stuff going on. But just a solid album, top to bottom, really good. And which means my number 1 is Sheer Heart Attack by Queen, their third album. It's crazy how back then bands could put out 2 great albums in 1 year. Like, bands don't do that anymore. You're lucky if you get an album from a band every 2 or 3 years nowadays. Bands back in the 70s and 80s, 60s even, used to release music like annually, like every year. And I just don't know why bands can't do that nowadays, but maybe it's a touring thing, or they try to maximize sales before releasing a new album, maybe, I don't know. But anyways, my number 1 is Queen's Sheer Heart Attack. 2 of my favorite Queen songs are on this, Brighton Rock and Stone Cold Crazy. Very heavy songs, very rock and hard rock. The pop breakthrough song Killer Queen is on this as well. That was their big single. And Flick of the Wrist is really good too. Now I'm Here is a good song too. The whole album's just top to bottom really good. Short songs, but very catchy, very memorable, and some of Queen's best stuff. Some honorable mentions. There's a lot of good music. There's 2 albums that just barely didn't make my top 5. I put them 6 and 7. Those would be Judas Priest debut, Rock'n'Rolla. This didn't quite make my top 5 because Judas Priest didn't quite find their sound yet on this one. I find they didn't have that really straightforward heavy metal sound yet, which would come in the next album or 2. And but it's a solid album. I still really enjoy it. And the other one was Deep Purple's Burn. Really like this album too. Great band, great album. But I just like these other ones a little bit better. Some other notable mentions this year. King Crimson, I think, had 2 records this year. Kiss actually put out a 2nd record this year as well. Aerosmith's had their 2nd album out this year. Budgie had an album out this year. Nightlife by Thin Lizzy came out this year. Just some really good stuff. But yeah, let me know down below, guys, what your top 5 would be for 1974. And please join me in the next episode for 1975. And I'm looking forward to checking out the next year and to see what comes up. So until next time, guys, keep it metal.